Because I still paid my daughter's rent and her food and shit for my boys, right? On top of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we did
even
when...
amazed me that, wow, 3 months?
Yeah.
Holy crap, I gotta do this again.
We did the same thing when we were doing, like, mining exploration. I was doing, like, driller's helper and core cutting and all that kind of stuff, and... Yeah, we had the opportunity to come out either every 2 weeks or, like, every month and a half if we wanted. And I was just like, I'm out here to make money. I might as well just stay. Like, there's no point in going back every single time. So I just said, screw it.
That one outfit, though, I made the big money for 3 months. I just stayed 14 days at a time.
Yeah,
went home every second weekend and, set my daughter up, my kids up. Okay, got my supplies I needed for work. Went back to camp. It was a supply of your own food and that, too. So
nice.
Getting paid, I think, $40 a day for food.
Oh, jeez, that's pretty good.
I'd spend $60 for the whole fucking week.
Oh, man, that's really good.
And that's even at a little, mom and pop grocery store up in Fox Creek, Alberta.
Yeah.
Butt plug nowhere, trying to be an overweighty, and go in there, spend $60 on my way to camp, and come back out the next week, get another $60 worth. And wow, I just spent 2 days worth of pay money for 2 weeks worth of food.
See, I was terrible. Like, when I was in camp, I was like, oh, yeah, totally. I made all this money. And then I'd come out, even after a month and a half, and I would just blow it all on stupid shit. So I was not responsible with cash back in the day. Now I'm good, but not then.
Now I'm, finally getting a little bit better. But
good.
Working with all the bills and kids, and it's overwhelming, right?
See, that's my one bonus. I ain't got no kids.
And you're screwed.
Yeah, well, that's it. Trying to balance it all is freaking brutal. I don't know how people do it with kids. Like, even my friends, like, I make pretty decent money now, but it took a long time. And I got buddies that make, like, half what I do, and they have, like, 2-3 kids. And I'm like, how the hell do they do it? And the wife stays at home looking after the kids. And I'm like, how the hell do you guys survive? Like, I don't understand. It's like, I don't live a lavish lifestyle here at all. And I'm still feeling like I'm not getting, like, super fast ahead of everybody. And those guys are somehow still surviving. That or they got a shit ton of debt, one or the other.
Well, that's it. Yeah, a lot of people are living so far in debt. A couple of hiccups and they're screwed.
Yeah, that was our goal right after COVID. Right after I sold my big lifted truck, I was just like, well, as much as I love all this toys and stuff, I'm like, I gotta pay shit off. And now we're at ground zero. I don't owe anybody anything, and it's the best feeling in the world, I'll tell you. It's like, no more of that. Now it's fun, because when I get a paycheck, it's like, oh, take the bills off there, and then whatever's left is mine to save or spend or do whatever the heck I want with. Doesn't go to the inevitable pit of debt that never seemed to end. My wife and I worked it out, and we figure over, like, it was like 7 years together that we had the most debt, and we figure in interest, we probably paid over almost 16 grand, I think, in interest over our time. And, like, that's a lot of money. That's, like, just given away pretty much because you're not paying your shit off. Like, that's crazy. It seems nuts to me, but I don't know. Pretty wild. Pretty freaking wild. But now, like, from what I hear from everybody, like, I listen to lots of financial podcasts and reports on the economy and stuff just for entertainment. And it seems like the States is, well, I imagine Canada's not far behind them, but the States is, like, the highest credit card and loan debt I think they've ever had, like, in time is right now.
Wow.
Which is not good.
I bet with the unemployment rate in Canada, we're not far behind.
Well, we got to be close.
People are working, they got to be living off their credit somehow.
100%, right? Yeah, and I think
sooner or later, credit wants to get paid.
Well, that's it. I think we ride a pretty similar economic structure to the States, so if they're doing bad, we're usually not doing super great either. We share the fun.
No, well, the worse they get, the worse we feel it. They take it out on us.
That seems to be it, eh?
We'll make you pay to sell us our wood again.
Yeah, well, that's
that one used to bug the hell out of me. We're paying to sell our wood to them?
Yeah, well, yeah, there's somebody getting rich there somewhere for sure.
We're paying a tariff to ship our lumber across for you to buy.
Yeah, makes no sense, does it? Yeah, for what a resource-rich company we are, we sure don't exploit that properly too, like, financially, I don't think.
No.
Because, like, I feel we have a lot more power
look at
than...
the biggest complaint with the logging industry, logging world right now in Canada, or BC alone, is everybody claiming, well, there's no more resources. Like Hunter Mall, for example, an hour south of me, their mills have all shut down, and even their fiber OSB plant shut down, claiming
they shut down too, hey?
Oh, the OSB, Ainsworth OSB is no longer anything.
Yeah, everybody's kind of worried about Houston here, just wondering if they're going to shut down. I was working there this past week, and like I said, everybody that's working there is kind of like, I don't know, like the fiber's not coming in the way it used to, so we don't know if it's going to stay open or
because
what they're
they're not letting you cut it.
Well, that's it.
But I mean, take an example. I drove truck for a lot of years, and between 2006, we'll say, and 2010, when all the Beetle was really in fire and impact, you could drive that Coquihalla from Vancouver all the way up to my neck of the woods, I'm sure, up as far as you too.
Yeah.
And see nothing but brown and red forest.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Now, the last even 10 years, everything's lush and green like it was in the 80s and 90s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
And they can't touch it.
They're saying we got no timber.
Yeah.
Like logging plots that were logged even when I was a kid.
I'm sure there's something else going on there. There's got to be. Some bean counters making a plan.
They're trying to claim everything as an old growth. And well, screw that. We need to maintain the old growth. Maybe not cut it all down.
Yeah.
But get in there and maintain it. Make room for the better trees to survive and the worst trees, get them out of there. Maintain the forest before, guess what? Mother Nature decides that, we're going to burn you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're getting too good. We need bugs to go in there and wipe that whole forest out. And then
well, and that's
what was beautiful is now ruined. And it's ruined for everybody.
Yeah, totally. The thinning stuff that they did do did work, and they showed that it worked. Like when they thinned it out, cleaning out the beetle and shit. But the problem is they're not getting on it fast enough, and it's just going to start all over again. And the next generation of trees are going to be F2, right? So. Yeah.
Well, the biggest plan in the 70s and 80s with the replanting and all that was in 15 to 20 years, we'll be able to recut that timber.
Yeah, that's right.
Area. And I mean, you look at a lot of the areas that have signs that were logged in the 80s. There's not too many signs from the 70s anymore, but you see them a lot along the highways in Canada, BC here.
Yeah.
Logged in whatever, 80, 90, whatever years.
Yeah, saying
you
it's
look at
regrowth.
the forest that's behind it, like, holy cow, man, that should be relogged.
Yeah.
And yet they're claiming there's no timber out there to cut.
Yeah, funny story.
We live in the heart of it, man, and I don't know about you, lots of miles through your town. Looks pretty green everywhere I looked.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mountains were covered.
Burns Lake used to be the worst, man. You drive through there and it looked like autumn all year. Like it was brutal. Just red, but
oh yeah.
Apparently it's better now, but everything's gotta improve. You winning over there, Jesse?
Yeah.
Slowly but surely.
Oh. What's the name of the server?
It's just under Logging Crew. No password.
Hey, what map are you guys on?
Logger's Paradise.
Alright.
And just under Logging Crew for the server name, no password.
Thank you.
You betcha. But yeah, I think over the next few years, it's not going to be a very boomy time for logging in general. But I don't think that's going to be due to the forest itself. That's going to be just strictly bean counters trying to do some economic treachery.
I don't know. It's time to maybe even just right down to the communities, but provinces need to just kind of step up and say, you know what? We're tired of you fucking bean counters in Ontario telling us what to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Here's the way it's going to be. These are our forests. These are our flatlands. These are our oil fields. This is what we're doing with it.
I think it's starting to kind of happen now, to be honest, but
you know, I wish way back in the day they'd let Ontario do that separation thing.
Yeah.
Build a wall.
Yeah, go ahead.
Around you cocksuckers. Make a deal with the states that we can go around Ontario through Alaska or the Northwest Territories. We wouldn't have to go to the states there, but
yeah.
You know, the Americans down south to bypass Ontario, and fuck yeah.
Yeah, that would
Don't come out now. Do not come out.
Yeah. And then none of that decision making will affect people that have no idea what the hell they're doing, right? So
that's right. Your laws, your rules, everything stays in there. As a matter of fact, take your fucking organized crime mafia there, that security company you started, and take them out of our provinces too. That Northwest Mounted or RCMP bullshit.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, they're nothing but a security company.
Yeah, literally, and they don't even do a very good job of that.
Well, they make their own rules and do it all for them. Yeah.
Yeah. I have first-hand experience with both very good guys from that operation and bad, and even the good guys themselves are like, this is horse shit, so. Yeah, no, that's all it is, private security. What they need is municipal police, just like Vancouver has. That's the best way to do it. Not saying it's perfect, but it's a much better structure, and you're pulling people from areas that actually live there and understand the communities.
Oh, that's right.
Right now,
Hey,
like even
I'll just
in,
give you a sync loaning in a second, guys.
yeah, you're all good. Right now, even in Smithers, like I've maybe seen the same cops once or twice, but it's always rotating new people all the time, and they get these brand new guys that don't have a friggin' clue. And they come in and make a scene where it doesn't need to be happening. And it's like, oh, okay, well, if you would have lived in this community for more than 20 minutes, you'd know that that's totally not something you do here.
Yeah. I know I always expected to get harassed by this young cop. I was in one day at the gun shop. And I think I must have been still paying off my Colt 45, a cowboy handgun.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was sitting there playing with it, talking to the gun owner, twirling it, and just having a good time with it. And this looked like a kid.
Yeah.
Come in and kept interrupting us to ask the owner about holsters.
Oh, not in uniform though, just out of uniform.
Just in plain clothes.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
A kid walked in off the street right out of the schools from next door, down the road. Anyway, he kept interrupting, asked questions about shoulder holsters. So finally, I looked at him and looked at Jude and said, "Man, kid, why don't you go back to school or something?" And Jude said, "No, careful."
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I, that kid? He's not dry behind the ears yet. We're like, go back to school, buddy.
Yeah.
Fucking kid walks out, talks to Jude for a couple minutes, walks out, and Jude pulls up the paper and opens it up and shows me there's the kid's picture as the new lineup of like 6 new cops that showed up in town.
That's hilarious. 2
of them were 19 years old, and man, the town had so much issues with them kids.
Oh, I bet. They gotta prove themselves, right? So.
Oh, little stuff like, even one day I watched them come out of the police station. I was sitting at Smitty's having coffee and looked up the hill, seen the car come out of the detachment and get on the highway and come ripping down the highway, and all of a sudden it stopped on the highway in front of Smitty's. Lights came on and he backed all the way up the highway in that lane with his emergency lights on, all the way up to the police station, in off the highway, up the side road, into the parking lot. About 2 minutes later, he come whipping back out with his lights on, come about halfway down to Smitty's with his lights on, turned them off, and drove out of town. And he went up the hill out of town toward north. So we know he was heading home.
That's hilarious.
He forgot some of the office. Sorry?
5 meters.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah, you betcha. Yeah, no, I've seen some very unprofessional operations from those characters. Even last night, I started working at the bar again as of like last weekend. So we're doing security for the bar. So last night, the cops came through and did their big walkthrough. So they do like show of presence or whatever, right? So they come whipping through there, all 3 of them. They were all right. Like there's nothing wrong with the guys. They were being all professional and nice and stuff. But then, so like maybe 20 minutes after they drop off, we had this huge brawl happen outside. So we're out there trying to break up this giant brawl, me and the other security guy, and so this cop comes whipping down the road, and I'm like, oh, perfect, the cops are here. I said, that'll stop this in like 2 seconds, right? People usually will give up when they see that going on. Well, this cop like slows down, drives by, he like looks at us, I can see him looking, I like waved at him, and then he just sped away and kept going. I was like, you freaking jerk. Like, he's probably like, oh, no, I don't want to deal with that. No, I'm good yet.
We had 2 other cops. One was called RoboCop.
Oh, yeah, we had one of them.
I don't remember all his antics, but the last one we heard was he ran out on the highway and stopped this truck driver that had just pulled out of down the road. Anyway, the truck driver was driving up the middle of the road in his lane, of course.
Yeah.
And the cop ran out there with his gun out, jumped up on the guy's step and stuck the gun in the guy's face.
Holy shit.
And the guy promptly took the gun away, held on to him, opened the door, climbed out, pulled him down off his truck and beat the shit out of him.
Oh no.
Put him in the passenger seat of his truck unconscious. Drove up the hill out of 100 Mile, and the cop shop was now up at the top middle of the hill.
Yeah.
Stopped on the highway, threw the guy over his shoulders, walked over, deposited him outside the door, called the number on the wall, threw his gun in his lap, walked and jumped in his truck and drove away.
Holy.
Yeah, my buddies come running down to the bar and told us this, and holy fuck, we ran out the door, drove our truck. Sure enough, cop laying on the ground outside the doors.
And let me guess. Yeah, what's up?
Is there a fixed heater I can put on this?
Just the dangle on this side, yeah. The fixed head's on the other side. Yeah, and he probably was in the wrong, hey, for doing that, I imagine.
There was no provocation at all, yeah.
That's
The
so.
guy came back apparently a couple days later and made a statement. There was a big thing in the paper, and while charges were pending against the guy, I don't think anything was ever pressed
Oh, that's good.
because the guy had a bad history. This cop.
Well, and the problem is well, one, there's got to be some mental health issues with some of the people they're hiring to be police, but a lot of them they're scared. Like they're like their demeanor is that they're on edge and they're scared, right? I remember back when I first started doing security, like freaking 12, 13 years ago, like the cops were huge dudes, right? Like huge. Like there wasn't a guy under 6 foot, 6'3", you know, like huge, big freaking 200-pound, 300-pound guys, right? Now over the past like 5-6 years, like they're like, oh, we'll take anything in the RCMP because nobody wants to be a cop anymore. So they hire these tiny little guys or girls, and they're just physically not, you know, they're not intimidating. They're not physically confident. So the first thing they reach for is a gun or a taser, and they get really freaking sketched out about it. So all these people are kind of watching them, going like, I don't know, is this person gonna like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?
Kind of like the rash of cops that we were getting in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
All young kids out of school that were bullied, and you could tell they were bullied in high school. They got a chip on their shoulder, and they're just itching. Itching to pull that gun. Same as a couple buddies that went into the military out of school.
Same thing.
I ran into one driving truck, and like 15 years later or 20 years later after schooling, and he'd left the military because all Canada sent him to do was be a peacekeeper everywhere he went.
Oh, jeez.
Never had a loaded gun, never had real bullets.
That's crazy.
And when they did, they were in such a situation that there was no chance of what he wanted, and that was combat. He wanted to kill people.
Yeah. Well, that's it. They there's like a series of, clearly there's some like bullying mental health issues, and that's a lot of guys. You can recognize it. Even the security guys that I worked with, like you can recognize the guys that are just trying to be all power hungry, right?
Yeah.
And that's definitely not what you need.
Well, I like to woke these young guys up and just interrupt them and, hey, I learned something when I was a kid, and it's going to apply right here to you and me right now.
Yeah.
Respect is earned, not given.
100%.
I don't have to respect you or anything about you if I don't want to.
Well, that's exactly it, right?
And it's all how you respect me. And I had one cop that was so decent, man. He ran my tag when I was leaving my neighborhood up here.
Yeah.
Years ago, and it came back for some reason. My license had been canceled. It was over a medical issue, but it was all over the computer.
Right.
I'd filled out my form. I'd done all that bullshit that I'd supposed to, but
just hadn't been updated.
Spit it out. No, it spit it out.
Oh.
When I finally got a hold of somebody in a Victoria, Vancouver office later that day to find out why, even he said, I don't know why the computer did that. It did it like 2 days prior to this incident.
Right.
A Sunday, and it was like a Monday or a Tuesday. And anyway, the long story is the cop gave me tickets because his system said my license was expired or canceled, whatever.
Yeah.
For whatever, no reason. That they didn't have a reason on their system. But I showed him the form that I had to fill out and the dates, and I said, yeah, that was like 2 months ago, man. But that's the only thing that could be hiccuping me. I said, I'm a class 1 driver, man. I don't mess around nowhere. Like, I don't. Look at my record. It's clean. Not even a speeding ticket. And he goes, well, I'm going to write you the tickets, and I'll give you a week. I won't be back on till next Friday. So I said, well, man, you've kind of screwed me right now. It's like 4:30. I can't even go to the building and call. So anyway, I did get a hold of somebody. I did get a hold of the cop later on that night, and he did rip the tickets up. And
well, that's cool. At least they honored it.
But he was, but I think it was my son playing with the cell phone too. He was supposed to be filming, but he played a fucking video game.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be filming a cop, because as soon as the cop got on my tail, I went, what the hell does this guy want? The truck's clean, everything's good. Oh, I haven't done nothing. What the hell? Film this shit.
Yeah.
And then after he leaves, I go, did you get all that on film? We got a good cop scenario video here. No, I was playing a video game. I thought you told me just to pick up the phone. Yeah.
What length are you cutting?
We're doing 5 meters. I'm trying to test to see if I can get this AI driver to drive my load of wood to the mill, but he's not playing proper here. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, don't trust them guys. They'll end up go down the road and end up circling trees till they get stuck.
He's trying. Look, there he goes. See, he's trying. Oh, no, he gave up.
You'll end up driving into the bush and get stuck.
I wish they would like actually be able to, or like you could plan a route for him or something. That'd be kind of cool.
I think they stereotype drunk Mexicans.
Yeah, yeah.
That's should I do the job.
Yeah.
Out of the Mexico.
Just drive straight and hope it works out.
Yeah.
All right, fine. We can drive better. Oh, you need, yeah, hold on. Hold the phone. There you go. You should be good now.
Hey, FDR, just while you're loading this pile, sorry, it's a bit messy. I'm not used to
Oh, that's all good. That's the joys of penciling. Gives me practice. Yeah, pretty wild, man. I don't know. Can't win with any kind of security services or policing services. Then again, you know, I've met lots of good guys and doing that stuff too. But you know what? The good guys seem to just get out because they realize it's not good or something. I don't know. Or I don't know if they move up the ladder, but all the good guys I ever met, they all just disappear. That just seems to be...
I think the first thing they should be considering is age and aptitude tests.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Instead of just whoever would fill out the application for them.
Yeah. But first of all, make it like a mandatory 30 years old minimum. Like anybody in their 20s.
Yeah, isn't ready for that kind of stuff.
No, it's like thinking back to when I was 16 and got my license, man. I don't know if that was such a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I survived.
Right.
A few of my friends didn't. Like guys I went to school with that got their license. A couple of them died in car accidents within a few years. But I think of the shit we did when we got a whole fucking put 16-year-old in charge of a vehicle.
Oh yeah.
Like I tell my son, he's about to get his N this summer. You get your N. If you pass your N, that's great. But you still don't get the privileges that you're allowed on your license.
No, that's it.
Me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and if you're not
gotta show some competency.
Yourself, then it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'll let you get the license just because, you know, fuck the system.
Right. Competency. Gotta show that you're at least a tiny bit competent driving.
Yeah.
Tiny bit's acceptable.
He is a little distractible.
Yeah.
In little ways. So just, you know, you gotta watch that.
I taught my...
Where they have to be. You have to, you know...
My coworker's granddaughter, she wanted to learn how to drive, and we went to just like our provincial parks. It's like super quiet there and there's nobody there, and I was teaching her how to drive. And same thing, very, very easily distractible. And so I told her, I said, you gotta pay attention to what's going on around you. Like, you don't want, if you got your phone, don't have your phone. Don't be looking at your phone, keep it in your pocket or something. Because, like, so many people are so prone to, like, oh, I just felt my phone vibrating and check a text message. And you're like, no. It's like maybe in, like, 100 years when you're a veteran driver and you know the ins and outs of when you can get away with doing something like that, sure. But not when you're first starting, because you're going to crash for sure. And then she did end up crashing. Luckily, it wasn't anything too brutal, but and it was because she was checking her damn phone. And it's just, like, very easily preventable.
I've had one good incident hauling a full load of super train lumber.
Yeah.
Throwing up a text, and I was going down a hill, so I was under Jake and, under speed. And being a bit of a seasoned trucker by then, I kind of felt that I was drifting a little bit to the right.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was okay, because I'd kind of been creeping a little bit over the center line a minute ago, before I started my messages.
Right.
So as I finished typing and looked into my my right mirror as I was moving to the left a little bit, I looked in time to see my pup trailer up on its side.
Whoopsies.
Just barely inches from the cliff, like the wall. There was a rock wall on that side of leaving Cache Creek.
Right.
Head towards Spence's Bridge. And the trailer's in a ditch going sideways, the pup trailer.
Oopsies,
so
yeah.
I was like, holy fuck. So
yeah.
Literally dropped the phone, grabbed a gear, and steered hard to the left. Thinking, okay, I got to get straightened out. There's only one way to get out of this straight. So as I pulled her straight, I looked at my left mirror in time to watch that same trailer come whipping onto my mirror, up on its side wheels. Like, holy fuck, now we're going to go over this way. It's still going in slow motion, so
yeah.
My phone is still in midair. Like, I'm going, holy fuck, the other way. Straighten out, more power. And looked straight, had my hands all set, ready for which way am I going to flip? Because the trailers will go over fairly slow.
Yeah.
But the truck will go over like a rocket. Like, you'll be one side or the other instantly. And
that's crazy.
A couple seconds go by, I look in my mirrors, no trailer. Look in the other mirror, no trailer. Holy fuck! Now I start looking for people on the road.
Yeah. You're
Did you see this?
Yeah, who saw
There's
that?
one of them long straightaways. I know you know the road's not that great, but as you leave Cash Creek heading south towards Spence's Bridge,
Okay, yeah.
you're on that long passing lanes of hills.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a long stretch just before that water pump plant on the left that goes over the mountain to the mine.
Okay, yeah.
It was right in that stretch there. It was a long straightaway. That's why I'd been doing my texting. And yeah, I'm looking up the hill and down the hill around the corner. Oh, fuck, nobody's seen that thing. Oh.
Yeah.
Pull over a mile down the road. My back load of OSB had, because it's so slippery, it had actually shifted.
Oh, man.
So the back end was kind of leaned over fairly hard. Like, oh, man.
Frick.
It was so close.
Oh, yeah, it's
Got back
easy.
in the truck, cell phone went into the sleeper for the rest of that trip.
Easy to mess up doing that stuff, too.
1 second.
Was it summer or winter?
Summer,
Summer, yeah.
thankfully.
Yeah.
Or like dry season anyway.
I was gonna say, winter you probably wouldn't have got away with that, eh?
Oh no, we'd have been snaking across the highway every which way.
Yeah, I've never had any terrible accidents doing car stuff, luckily.
Trees up a bit further this way.
You're talking to
Just
Jesse,
one
I'm assuming?
corner.
I should probably skip.
Or text, maybe.
Already.
I just did the talking while muted thing. I feel
Oh,
That's okay. It's only bad if you were answering yourself.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. If you're responding to yourself, then this tree got a thingy on it.
yeah.
Some of these
Riley,
big
I was
trees,
trying to
like
wiggle
stupid
above in
limbs.
there.
Hey Jasper, can you wave your processor head around the edge of this tree to see if you can get rid of those limbs on it?
Yep.
Magic wand.
There it is.
Just go right over top of the limbs.
I've been
That should
playing
get
a lot
rid of
with
them.
this 535. I've got
They're just down there in
good with it.
front of your cab.
I was wondering what you're talking about. Oh, there's more trees.
Here, let's see. I might be able to wand it here. Yeah.
Jump in there if you want.
That processor head should be able to just wipe them out, but if I go like
Oh, you might
this.
hit. I can just cut the very edge of the tree off if you want.
Sure. I don't know if it'll do it or not. It might be at the other side. No, it's on the butt. So if you wave your processor head like over top of where the limbs are,
Yep.
it should, in theory, get rid of them. I don't know if it will or not. Oops, here, I'll turn it towards your head. There you go.
Can't move my step on.
That's one thing about these big ass trees, it doesn't like that. It might not do it for us here. Out or
Didn't
screw it.
bring a fan either.
Take it too long. That tree can go over to the abyss. We'll pretend that tree didn't happen. I think there's another one here somewhere. Yeah, this one. It's so freaking annoying.
Didn't want to go this way.
Schwink. I'll get her here. Oh, I think I'll get it. Just have to give it the old whipping action. Wink. There we go. Be gone, evil tree. Oh, that was a terrible spot to throw it. Son of a
Okay.
bitch. That's alright, we're gonna go check it over there.
Yep.
Goodbye.
The process is not treating me too well.
No, it's just these stupid limbs. It's being a jerkwad.
Nah, because I'm on controller, not controller, keyboard and mouse.
Oh. You're on keyboard and mouse and you're processing? Oh my god.
Yep.
That sucks. Do you have joysticks or a gamepad or something?
No,
Oh
No.
man. Good luck with
I
your
just
life.
have my school. I'm just using my school laptop as well.
Oh man. I couldn't do it. I don't know how people can do it.
No, me either.
I mean, I still like it, but
Hey, I mean being part of the thing is cool, but I'm just saying me personally, I would be like if they suddenly like joysticks weren't available for this game anymore, FDR logging would be over, it would be done. I'd be like, well guys, it was fun while it lasted, but we're done. That's it. No more.
Back to 19.
Yeah.
I do really want some joysticks, but I don't think without a PC, I don't think Mum and Dad will let me.
Oh, no worries. There's definitely some cheaper options out there now. Like those 3D Pros that Maverick's got there. They're fairly good price, aren't they, Maverick? They're not too crazy expensive, eh?
Around $30 a piece, and man, mine got almost 4,000 hours on them.
There you
Still
go.
running strong.
See, now I wish the Thrustmasters were $30 a piece. That'd be dope. I'd be able to like have a giveaway every week with those.
Thanks, Dix.
Taxi just flipped me.
Uh-oh. These big trees are being a pain.
Yeah, I know. I was been waiting to get around you, and then all of a sudden these trees come back in my face.
Give you a little whack. It's alright. It's
But
good
yeah,
for you.
that's why I'm going a bit slow. That's why.
Oh, that's all good.
I guess they're going into this pile.
I'm also loading extremely slow, so no rush at all. That's the best part about Logging Crew. We're not here to actually, you know, produce and make money, so we can just take our time. There's no bosses that'll yell at us for being slow.
Since you did that update on the loaders, I can actually load now. It's insane.
Right? Yeah, it's the combination of the grapples and the tree weights, but yeah, I'm very happy with it too. It almost feels like real life. It's kind of messed up.
Was it for you, did the trees like kind of phase in and out of the ground? Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, they would slide a bit sometimes, or they would just wouldn't hang on to them when you grabbed them, which was kind of a pain in the
because
arse.
it took me so long to do it, they would completely just phase out, and by the time I penciled them, they just wouldn't be there anymore.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, lots of issues that were reported about that stuff, but I think it's good now for the most part. Multiplayer, we still get a little weird stuff that goes on, but that I have no control over. That's just multiplayer being multiplayer. Sometimes trees disappear, sometimes they reappear, sometimes they look like they're still standing, like they haven't been cut yet. So, I don't know. Here, I'll grab those two. Oh, you're good. I'm out of your way.
No, I don't know how do you turn them with the dangle head?
Turn the trees?
Like, yeah, like...
Well, because those logs are so heavy, you can't really turn it. Just kind of similar to real life. There's just too much pressure on the hydraulics. You can't really turn it.
Yeah.
So what I do is, as it's running, like as it's feeding through, that's when I try to kind of rotate it. But usually it won't go until you get to the end, like when it's a thinner piece. So like now you should be able to turn it without any issues.
Yeah,
Also, hit G on your keyboard. G, yeah. And then tilt. Do the tilt feature, if you remember how to do that. Like you're tilting your bucket towards you.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Now, okay, now then hit G again.
I've been trying to figure out how to do that
Yeah.
for so long.
There you go. That way it'll stay even so that you're not at a weird angle. There you go. See, learning. Learning is the best.
I just thought it wasn't compatible with
No.
keyboard and mouse.
Yeah. No, I know. Lots of people don't know that one. It's always like, ah. It's all good, though.
If you don't learn something new every day, you're not living.
Well, that's right. Yeah. And if you don't forget what you learned at least twice a day, then you're getting old. Or not getting old.
I blame it on, I got a photographic memory, but the memory card's just full.
Oh man, you should have seen it. So I was running that wheel loader all week that I sent you that picture of, right? In the group chat or whatever there.
Yeah.
So like that Volvo is just the oldest piece of just shit. Like it's great on the ground. If you're on flat and you're on the ground working, fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It works fine. It's old and shitty, but it works, right? So when I got there, I didn't really have a whole scale of what we were doing. So we're pushing all these grinded bits up into these huge hills, right? These huge ramped up hills because they ran out of room. So I'm trying to like push this shit up this hill, and this Volvo is slipping gears like you've never seen, and it barely can, with a full bucket, it can barely make it up the hill. Like it's just so grinding trying to get up there, and I'm like, ugh. So they tell me, like the loaderman there came in and they're like, oh hey, don't push it off that south slope because we need that room for the trucks to back up. And I was like, okay, well that's the only spot I can push it. Like, where do you want me to push it? And I'm like, can I push it off the sides? And they're like, no, don't push it off the sides either because we need that side open so we can drive through it. And I'm like, so what do you want me to do with the chips here? Do you want me to just keep pushing them up and building up a pile? Yeah, that sounds good. Just keep pushing them up. Okay. So that frickin' Volvo can only push so much at a time. So I'm pushing these little piles up and just piling them at the top. I don't know what the hell to do with them. And This other loaderman comes up. What? Oh, buddy, what are you doing? That's gonna take us 10 hours to fix that freaking mess. Da, 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 da. He's just bullshitting on the radio, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, so what do you want me to do here? I'm like, I can't push them off the edge. You don't want me to pile them. I said, this machine's not strong enough for me to pile them like and ramp up at the same time with this thing. Like, it's just not happening, right? And so guy again bickering on the radio. So I got out and I said, okay, screw this. I'm gonna go talk to him face to face because I'm not up for the whole radio drama thing. So I like pulled up alongside his loader and I just hopped out and I'm like, hop out of your loader for a second. I want to talk to you. And he's like, oh, when you're pushing those piles, he's like, you gotta put more throttle in it and push them up the hill. And I'm like, buddy, do you think I'm not putting the full throttle into this thing? I'm like, this is maxed the fuck out. Like, I can't push it any harder without it just falling apart. Like, it's as good as it gets. And he's like, oh yeah, well, you just need to do this. You need to push this. And I said, okay, sweet. But he's driving a 966, right? So it's like double the size of mine and double the power, and it's like brand new. It's in great shape. So I told him, I said, well, that sounds all great and all, but this loader can't do that. I said, can I borrow yours? I'll switch. You can have mine, and then I'll take yours, and then we'll see how it goes. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, I better not do that. I better not do that. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I didn't think so. And then he shut up for the rest of the day. Fuck, that was so funny. I was like, shit, I can do exactly what you're asking, but you're going to have to give me your machine if you want me to do that, because this one can't push. Like, and then he drove up to those frickin' piles, and he pushed them like the machine didn't even have a breath in the world with it. No problem. Hey, just pushed it right to the top, right? And I said, yeah, that looks great and all, but I can't do that with this machine, so unless you want to give me yours, I don't know really what you want me to do here. Fuck, that was so funny. My other coworker was like, man, I don't know, he's being really dramatic on the radio. I'm like, yeah, I noticed, yeah. But that's why I hop out. I hate the whole radio shit sometimes. And then when you talk to him face to face, suddenly it's like, it's just better. Like, everybody's just a little bit more chill because they see that you're actually a real person on there, not just some random voice on the radio. And they also know that I can hop out of my loader and give them a fucking slap if they
So they probably shut up. They get scared.
Yeah, that's different. Everybody calms right down, right? But I mean, I told him, I realized, listen, I know I used to do this job in Smithers, and I'm like, I realize you guys have your own little turf here, and this is your area, and I don't want to screw it up, but I'm just working with the shitty equipment I got here, and I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not trying to mess your world up, but I gotta push this stuff somewhere, so that's how she go. But yeah, I don't think I have to go back and do that again for a long time, so that was good. I told my boss, I think I'm just gonna stick to Smithers because driving all the way to Houston every day is not good for my other job. I was so late coming back, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get fired.
Okay, yeah.
If I didn't have the other job, it wouldn't be a big deal, but... And, the no AC and all that stuff kind of sucked, too. It's freaking... Like, I bet you if I would have put, like, a roast in the cab with me, it would have been done by the end of the day, like, without a doubt.
Oh, my truck is that way, too, yeah. I was talking to mechanics on Friday. Like, I drove this truck last summer, and I'm not going to drive it this summer unless you guys fix
the AC, yeah.
And, or at least, for right now... put me one of them little fans on the dash so I can at least move air.
Yeah. Then at least you got something blowing at you here.